Okay, welcome to your morning cars. These are controlled articular rotations. We're going to move the joints through a full range of motion in order to try to warm up the joints and also increase the range of motion, just create healthy joint capsules. Really focusing on isolating just the one joint we're working on at a time while keeping the rest of the body still. We'll start with the neck. So standing with a bit of tension, or we call it irradiation, through the rest of the body. And then taking chin to chest, scraping the chin along the collarbone, looking over your shoulder and looking up and around as much as is comfortable for your neck. Never working through pain, always working through a comfortable, pain-free range of motion. Twice around one direction, limiting movement through the rest of your body. As you move the neck through a full circle, switching directions. And that's the neck. Moving to your T-spine now, your thoracic spine. First taking hands, crossing them over in front onto your shoulders. And then the first move is to start to round through just your upper back. Then turning towards the side without tilting to the side, just a turning, rotating as far as you can, and then starting to extend up. So this is back bending, opening through your chest, turning to the other side, rotating, rounding down now, and rotating back to center, completing one and moving again in the same direction, up and around. You can pair this with your breath, exhaling as you're rounding, and inhaling as you extend through the spine. Switching directions. You notice the hips want to move here, keeping the hips where they are, not rounding through low back, just through the upper part of the back where the rib cage is. And coming back to center. Now moving through shoulders, we'll do one at a time, starting with your right hand, taking your palm to face forward and raising up. As you're coming forward, trying to get this external rotation of the shoulder the whole way up as far as you can, and then starting to rotate inward, turning your palm to face back behind you as far as you can, pulling your hand back towards your midline, forward and through, palm facing forward again, and repeating. A little bit of irradiation through the rest of the body, engaging, keeping yourself from rotating through your torso. Shoulders stay square with the hips, switching directions, now back, around and through. Palm faces up when you're going back or back behind you as far as you can, and then starting to rotate slowly. Find that full range of motion through your joint and come back to center, switching sides, palm facing up, turning your palm slowly to face behind you without moving the rest of your body. Keep engaged through your core to prevent the torso from rotating. Switching directions. And coming to shoulder blades, I'll face towards the back here so you can see. You're going to start with your right shoulder, making a fist, taking your arm slightly out to the side, about 45 degrees. First, you're going to push forward, so protracting the shoulder blade forward, and then shrug up as high as you can, pull back, Pull down, scrape the shoulder blade along the spine, and then push forward again. That's one. Moving in big circles. Switching directions. And switching shoulders. I'll use the other, face the other direction now so you can see from here. First pushing forward, shrugging up, pulling back and down. That's twice in one direction, and then switching. Okay, now elbows. I do elbows together. I find it's quite easy. Lock the elbows into the sides, palms facing down, arms straight, palm facing forward, sorry. And now first, as you raise up, you're trying to turn the thumb to face down, or turn the thumb more down, the pinky more up as you come up. Now rotate all the way around once you've come to your fully flexed position of the elbow. And now you're trying to turn the thumb to face down, the pinky to face up again, and repeating. Now switching directions, starting with the palm facing down, bringing the thumb down, pinky up as you raise hands up, switching around, thumb moving down, pinky moving up. So thinking about rotating through the forearm, so the thumb moves down, the pinky moves up, and vice versa. Now the thumb's rotating down, pinky's moving up. Great, now wrists, grabbing onto your forearm so that there's no movement through the rest of your arm, starting with the deviation towards the thumb as far as you can, and then flexing, bringing hands in towards you, bringing the pinky to deviating towards the pinky now, and moving around and down, fully extending the wrist and moving around in a big circle like so. Switching directions. Just key that you're limiting the movement to the one joint, switching arms, hands, and getting the full range of motion, feeling into the joint as you move through that full range, pain-free. Stay connected to your breath as you move through these joint movements. And now we move to hips. You might need something to balance on, grabbing a wall or a chair. I'll just do it from standing here. So lifting up your right knee as high as you can, and then opening out to the side as far as possible through the groin, and then starting to try to bring the foot up to inwardly rotate through your hip as high as you can, and then bringing it around, forward and through. Trying not to let the torso move here. This is more difficult. Switching directions, first kicking back and then opening out to the side while trying to turn the foot to face up as you come around. And switching to your other side. Around twice per direction and coming back. Now we'll go down to work on the spine through cat-cow. So on hands and knees, beginning with your low back, we move through cat-cow, trying to move one vertebrae at a time away from the base of your spine. Dropping down, dropping down, dropping down, and finally looking up through your neck, and then starting at the top of the head, looking down through the head, rounding up through your cervical vertebrae, your neck, upper back slowly, mid back, lower back, one vertebrae at a time moving. And again in this, from the low back towards the crown of the head. From the crown of the head back towards the lower back. One vertebrae at a time. Think about hands, my fingers moving along your spine, pressing on each vertebrae one by one. And then switching directions now, starting at the crown of the head, lifting up, looking forward, trying to drop your upper back down, mid back down, and finally lower back down. Starting with the lower back, trying to round through the sacrum, low back, mid back, upper back, finally your neck. Repeating this once more, head looks up, upper back drops down, mid back, lower back. Starting with low back, rounding up, mid back, upper back, chin to chest. And returning back to neutral. Now coming to sit down, moving through knees and ankles finally. So, picking your right leg up, grabbing behind the thigh. So working on rotating the foot out first, straightening the leg out, turning the lower leg in, and then bending back heel towards buttocks. Again, turn the toes out, straighten, turn the toes in, bending back in, switching directions, toes start turning in, tibia turns out, pulls back in, tibia rotates in, straightens out, rotates out, bends back in. Ankles now, first pointing the toes all the way, and then rotating around to the inside, pulling back to the outside, pointing back forward. Slow, controlled movement of the ankles. Think about every day you do this, just a millimeter more of conscious expansion through the joints, or a micromillimeter, whatever it is. So 2 per direction, and switching to the other leg now. First the knee, tibia rotates in, straightens out, rotates out, comes back in. Switching directions. Great, now your ankle. Pointing the toes, rotating in, pulling back towards you, rotating out, and pointing back forward. And there we go. That is your morning cars, or anytime cars really. Controlled articular rotations through each joint in the body to warm up, expand movement, increase synovial fluid in the joints, and help you live long, happy, with healthy joints. Thank you.